Was good with y'all? It's your boy AD, and to be honest, E3 is one of, if not the biggest gaming event of the year. So even though PlayStation decided not to show up this year, it's still looking like we'll get more information than we can handle, with games like Cyberpunk 2077, the Avengers project by Square Enix leading the way, and Microsoft looking to have one of, if not the most impactful showing, trying to capitalize off not having to worry about Sony. Now, if you was wondering, the companies that are showing up for E3 2019 are Microsoft, Nintendo, Ubisoft, Bethesda, Square Enix, and more. What I mean by and more, you never know what other companies could show up to surprise announce their game. Like, they don't have to list out they're gonna be there, but they can show up in another time slot and just surprisingly announce a project that nobody was expecting. Now, companies that I think will have the best showing, surprisingly, coming from me, will be Microsoft, as I think they have much to prove, and I feel like this showing at E3, they will have many games to talk about, and not just games, exclusive games, which they've been lacking in the past years. So before I get into Microsoft's E3 2019 showcase, make sure to hit that like button, comment, subscribe if you like the video, and share this video to help my channel grow. So getting to Microsoft, one of the biggest reveals that people are looking forward to is probably Halo Infinite, where Master Chief returns in the next chapter of the legendary franchise. Developed by 343 Industries and created with their new Slip Space engine, Halo Infinite was revealed last year, but now Microsoft may be willing to show gameplay, as the game has been in development for a while, so maybe they'll show us some gameplay at E3, which a lot of fans and critics are speculating they will. Now, the next exclusive to be shown at E3 2019 by Microsoft will be Gears of War 5. And while Gears of War 4 was a bit underwhelming, looking at reviews and talking to fans of the game, mostly because it was compared to the original trilogy from Epic Games. But this new Gears of War 5 will feature a mode where you can play solo or with a friend in local split screen co-op or online co-op, where they say battle alongside your friends anywhere with crossplay between Xbox One and PC. They say this is the largest and most diverse Gears world ever created. And they say the visuals have been updated, where it will now have 4K Ultra HD resolution with stunning HDR at a smooth 60 frames per second. Which really 4K only matters if you have a 4K TV, so for most people that really don't matter too much. But for people who like to go out and buy expensive TVs for no reason, that's what they have it for. Also, another thing Xbox is going to give more details on is their Game Pass going over to the PC, which will launch with over 100 PC games for Windows 10, bringing together developers and publishers like Bethesda, Deep Silver, Devolver Digital, Paradox Interactive, and Sega, which is a big deal because PC and Microsoft has had a partnership in the past years, which is not surprising because PC and Microsoft has had a growing relationship over the past years, so see them partnering up for the Xbox Game Pass doesn't surprise me at all. Only thing that really surprises me out of all these announcements is probably them having actual games exclusive to the Xbox console, which is something I poke at them about all the time, them not having any exclusives, because one of the main reasons I switched over to PlayStation was because Xbox had little to no exclusives, and when they did have an exclusive, the game was either broken or not good at all. Enough of that, let's get back to the positive. Xbox is expected to announce a next-gen console which will be called Project Scarlet, because there'll be two versions of the Xbox, which one would be called Anaconda and the other would be called Lockhart. And the difference between these consoles would be that Lockhart will be priced lower and Anaconda is said to be the most powerful console ever made. It's likely to be disc-free and digital only and coming fall of 2020. So if you want your console to be really powerful, I would go with the Anaconda, but if you're really looking for a cost-effective console, then that would probably be the Lockhart, which most likely won't be as powerful as the Anaconda. Now, moving on to the Bungie E3 2019 showcase. With Bungie splitting with Activision, they will still show the next chapter of Destiny 2, because with DLC coming in Destiny 2, you know E3 is the best stage to get it out to a bigger audience. So for Bungie, I just expect more Destiny 2 DLC, and if they show anything else, I'll be surprised. But moving on to one of my favorite developers, is Square Enix. So with their E3 showcase, I expect a lot, because last year they showed the Avengers project teaser trailer where they showed different Avengers broken weapons, like Captain America's shield was broken, Thor's hammer was on the ground but Thor wasn't around, Iron Man's glove was broken, and Banner's glasses was cracked. So I'm expecting a lot for this Avengers project since they've had a lot of time to develop. And also, a description of the Avengers video game was leaked via the E3 Coliseum website, saying this is the defining Avengers gaming experience, an epic action adventure that combines cinematic storytelling with continuous single player and cooperative gameplay. Assemble in teams up to 4 players, master extraordinary abilities, customize your heroes to fit your playstyle, and combine powers to defend an ever-expanding world under constant threat. The original teaser trailer that I talked about was shown back in 2017, not last year. So one of the main taglines in that teaser teaser trailer was reassembled, so I'm thinking the Avengers will be broken if not beat. You'll just have to go through a certain period where you're playing as individual before they come together. The Avengers project is being designed for gamers worldwide and will be packed with all the characters, environments, and iconic moments that have thrilled longtime fans of the franchise, as Square Enix press release said at the time, featuring a completely original story, and it will introduce a universe gamers can play in for years to come. So this kind of makes me excited because I think if this works out the way I think it will be an MCU for the video gaming universe. And these details will be live streamed on the Square Enix site. I'm hoping Spider-Man PS4 is connecting and used as the foundation of this seemingly MCU type video game world, because I think that will be the next step for Marvel going forward. They already have the movies in that big universe, so to build that universe in the video game, because you can do so much more in video games than you can do in like actual movies, because you have actors and stuff, but in the video games you can go crazy with effects and set pieces. So I can't wait to see what they do with that. Moving to the next video game by Square Enix, Final Fantasy VII Remake is running off the Unreal Engine and is rumored to be a PlayStation 4 exclusive, and also rumored to be released 2020. That's a lot of rumors, but for the most part, whenever there's a rumor involving E3, 80% of the time it's right, because E3 has an ongoing problem with stuff leaking before the actual showcase happens. So I would expect a trailer and maybe some gameplay. Moving on to Activision, and they're showing at E3, they're definitely going to give us more details on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, because that trailer that they showed, the teaser trailer, was really good in my opinion. It really rejuvenated fans of the Call of Duty franchise because of it just being the first time in Call of Duty history the game will feature cross-play between consoles and PC when it drops October 25th. So you just know that this is going to be a huge selling point for fans. One of the main things I saw people complaining about in the trailer though was that some controversy may come to Call of Duty, as in the trailer you can see terrorists shooting up the streets of London. But then again, Call of Duty is no stranger when it comes to dealing with backlash because of the usual violent, raw, and gritty campaign. So I expect Activision to be able to sidestep that controversy, but you never know nowadays with everything being so PC, people may actually try to cancel them. So expect gameplay from Activision. Moving on to my next most anticipated game in Cyberpunk 2077, CD Projekt Red's E3 showcase has to be one of the most anticipated for the past 10 years, because as much praise as CD Projekt Red got for that 48-minute trailer back in last E3 was well earned, because that trailer just showed so much in the game that gave fans enough to look forward to and really get excited about the game. It really showed potential. But even though Cyberpunk 2077 has been in development for a while, it will not be playable at E3 2019, but there will be new gameplay shown. So that's the most important part. CEO of CD Projekt, Adam, I don't even know how to say the last name, also said in a blog post that this year's show is shaping up to be the most important fair in CD Projekt Red's history, and they want to be even more prominent in Los Angeles than they were last year. CD Projekt is known for keeping their information behind closed doors, and Cyberpunk 2077's level designer Miles Toss' reasoning for this is video game development is such an iterative process. I think I said that right. What we have now might not be there tomorrow. So in my opinion, Cyberpunk 2077 appears to be an incredibly deep and open-ended game, but we'll learn more about the game's RPG systems in this year's E3. Now for all my DC fans out there, this next reveal at E3 will probably get you excited, with Rocksteady being rumored to be making either a Justice League game or a new Batman game, with them posting job listings for helping develop the game, because this is said to be a continuation of Rocksteady's Batman Arkham trilogy. So they may be expanding on that with the Justice League, or they could be making another Batman game. I would expect definitely a trailer and maybe gameplay. But if it is the Justice League, it's rumored to have iconic locations like Gotham, Metropolis, Keystone, and a lot of other DC cities. And the Justice League roster allegedly will include Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, Green Lantern, and Cyborg. Speculation started because of Arkham Knight's DLC, Batgirl: A Matter of Family, where you can see Starro, one of the first Justice League villains, if you didn't know, it was in the comics. But they also say Darkseid and Brainiac will be scheduled for DLC. Now I don't know how they're rumoring DLC when the game hasn't even been announced yet, but I don't believe this unless it's like the Avengers project and this game will be a gaming service, which what I mean by that is Destiny is a gaming service game, meaning when the game comes out, it's expected to live longer than the average game, because they're going to keep putting content into it to make the gamers come back. So when they put out a game, they want it to have Skyrim type longevity. And this is supposedly supposed to be on the new gen consoles, which will be PlayStation 5, Xbox, Project Scarlet, and PC. Now moving on, new Splinter Cell is to be announced by Tom Clancy, but we also will be getting Watch Dogs Legion, which was actually leaked, and this was probably the most legit leak that happened over the past weeks, because it was given a lot of information on the Watch Dogs Legion, saying the game is set to take place in London, and according to the leaked product description, the next Watch Dogs will have a crazy feature that will allow you to take control of seemingly any NPC in the game world, which would be crazy, because if you play Watch Dogs 1 and 2, you know how big the playground can get with NPCs. So if in Watch Dogs 3 you can control all of them, then that would be crazy. But the official summary of Watch Dogs Legion is set in a near future dystopian version of London, and they say society, politics, and technology have changed and altered London's fortune. London is one of the most iconic cities in the world and has had a massive influence on all of Western culture for centuries. London makes total sense for Watch Dogs, as the city has one of the highest surveillance levels in the world, making this the perfect playground. So if you don't know, in Watch Dogs, one of the main unique features in the game is that you can control cameras and anything from cell phones and just electronics. Like, if I had to compare them to superheroes, I would say Watch Dogs 1 would be more of a Batman type game, and Watch Dogs 2 was more lighthearted as like a Spider-Man type game. So I'm curious to see which superhero I can compare this next installment of the Watch Dogs franchise to. But I would expect a trailer and or gameplay. Also, another thing that's supposed to be revealed is Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, which will probably be a trailer because Assassin's Creed drops every other year. So Ragnarok trailer would be possible, but gameplay I think is unlikely. A new Left 4 Dead video game is to be shown also in this E3 showcase. Now moving on to Nintendo, they're showing at E3 has to be promising, with the Switch starting to slow down. Even though it got the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 Black Order, people are really more excited for the Avengers project than that game. So for them to have Animal Crossing, Luigi Mansion 3, Legend of Zelda, Metroid 4 trailers and or gameplay for all those games, I feel like they understand that they'd have to show why you need to buy a Switch, because for gamers right now, there's not really that many games set for 2019 that's exclusively for the Switch. So for them to be showing what they have planned going forward will make fans want to invest more into their Switch. Now again, PlayStation will not be at this year's E3 because I guess they're doing their own thing, but in my guess, I think they're not ready to show off their next gen console, and I believe they're still working on it, or they may be planning their own showcase, which will make sense because so many things gets leaked before an E3 showcase, which all the things I've just said was mostly leaks, and they're usually true, just like last year's E3. So don't expect any PlayStation at this year's E3. Moving on to the last company, EA's E3 2019 showcase. They're expected to give gameplay and a trailer for Apex Legends Season 2 and a trailer and or gameplay for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. EA has much to improve at this year's E3 because for them to have messed up every Star Wars game they've developed with microtransactions and pay-to-win tactics, and for them to be taking their time with the Apex Season Pass, it really just rubs fans the wrong way, because when something works, you usually try to put your all into it, which is why Fortnite is so popular, because they keep their foot on the gas. Like, they don't take any breaks for Fortnite. They're always updating something, they're always changing something, and some fans say they be changing it too much, but obviously it's working because Apex for the most part fell off, and Fortnite is still rising because of them constantly putting out new mechanics and changes to their map or weapons. So let me know down in the comment section, what are you looking forward to the most in this year's E3 2019 showcase, and also which company or developer do you think will have the best showing? As I already said, I think Microsoft will have the best showcase, and I think Cyberpunk 2077 will have the best reveal gameplay wise. But maybe I'm just kind of biased because I'm really looking forward to that game. So yeah, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed this, make sure to let me know by hitting that like button and subscribe, and share this with your friend, neighbor, dog, or just send this to the person across the street talking down on Microsoft not having any games, kind of like me, because without them this wouldn't be possible. And with that, I'm out.